Of the After Church Chat at 12:21. I know I'm a little bit late. I was messing around with my laptop trying to get it to change the timeout sessions. Thing times out in 30 seconds, and I need to read off of something here. And so, if you're just tuning in, this is the 999 show, and we're doing a new regular thing called After Church Chat. All right, I'm going to start. Jeff is here. We're going to start. So I'm going to start first with this very, very important information. And this is very important for people to hear. And for some people, it may even be the very, very first time. So here it goes. These are the dates and times of when the end of the world was predicted. Okay, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 365, 375 through 400, 500, April 6, 7, 93, 800, 799, 800, 801, 802, 803, 804, 805, 806, 847, 992, 993, 994, 995. January 1st, 1000, 1033, 1200 through 1260, 1284, 1290, 1335, 1346, 1351, 1361, 1368, 1369, 1370, 1378, 1492, 1504, February 1st, 1524, February 20th, 1524, 1524 through 1526, May 27th, 1528, 1528, October 19th, 1533, 1533, April 5th, 1534, 1555, 1585, 1588, 1600. February 1st, 1624, 1648, 1651, 1654, 1656, 1655, 1656, 1657, 1658, 1660, 1666, 1673, 1688, 1688, 1689, 1697, 1700, 1705, 1706, 1707, 1708, April 5th, 1719, 1700 through 1734, October 16th, 1736, 1736, 1757, May 19th, 1780, 1789, 1792, 1794, November 19th, 1795, 1793, 1794, 1795, 1805, 1806, October 19th, 1814, 1836, 1836 by John Wesley, April 28th, 1843, December 31st, 1843 as well, and 1843 by somebody else entirely, March 21st, 1844, October 22nd, 1844, August 7th, 1847, 1847 by somebody else, 1862, 1863, 1873, 1874, 1881, 1890, 1901, 1901 by someone else, April 23rd, 1908, 1910, 1892 through 1911, 1915, 1918, 1920, February 13th, 1925, 1926, September 1935, 1936, 1941, 1943, 1947, December 21st, 1954, April 22nd, 1959, February 4th, 1962, August 20th, 1967, 1967 by someone else, by Jim Jones. Jim Jones predicted the world would end in 1967. August 9th, 1969. 1969 by Charles Manson. 1974, 1975 by the Jehovah Witnesses, 1976, 1977, 1977 by somebody else, 1980, 1981, April through June of 1982, March 10th, 1982, June 21st, 1982, 1982 by Pat Robertson, 1985, August 29th, 1986, August 17th, 1987, September 11th through 13th, 1988, and then it was changed again by the same guy, Edgar C. Wiseman, October 3rd, 1988, September 30th, 1989, April 23rd, 1990, September 9th, 1991 by somebody else, 1992, September 28th, October 28th, 1992 by somebody else, 1993 by Edgar C. Wiseman, and again in 1994, and again May 2nd, 1994 by Neil Chase. And this Harold Camping guy predicted the end of the world 3 different times. 3 different times, this guy. He kept changing the date. It was September 6th, 1994, September 29th, 1994, and October 2nd, 1995. And then again in March 31st, 1996 by Sheridan Needle, December 17th, 1996, and it keeps going on and on and on and on and on. The prediction, yes, and there we got Heaven's Gate, and we got 2001, we got 2000. It was when the computer apocalypse, when the 2-digit numbers went from 1999 December 31st to January 1st, 2000, the world was supposed to end, and it is still here now. Y2K, you got it. And it keeps on going on and on and on, and the list goes on, and it goes even long past the time that we're here. And so the point is, people predict the end of the world, and they predict it all the time. And in Matthew says, Matthew 24:35 says, about the day and the hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven or the Son of God knows. Only the Father knows when the end will come. And the Son, we are the Son, and so we don't know. The humanity in heaven, humanity on earth do not know. The angels do not know. Nobody knows when the world will end, so it's really pointless to predict when the world will end. And so, now granted, there is in the Bible lots of contradicting information. Some say you need to look at these signs in the heaven and so forth, and then others, and in this Matthew, it's a little later, it says it'll be like the time of Noah, and people will be eating and drinking, they will marry, and they'll just be going on in their life, and out of the blue, a big flood will come and destroy the world. The world will be destroyed. Now, I think end of the world, and then this is other thing is the end of the world does not mean the end of the world means the end of a civilization, or it means the end of an age. And so we have crossed into the age of Aquarius, which is exactly 2,000 years from beyond. The end of the world has already occurred because we are in the age of Aquarius, and so we have passed into an end of an age right now. And so we are in the birth pains of going into the age of Aquarius. So the end of the world is coming. Okay, so we got lots of trolls here. But here is, so anyways, I wrote a lot about this stuff. So, from a purely exoteric point of view, if the Bible contains any truth at all, that no person, male or female, will ever know when the end of the world will come. I mean, the end of the universe, the end of the earth. No one will know. It cannot be predicted. It cannot be predicted. So the end of the world cannot be predicted. The angels in the heaven cannot predict it, and you cannot predict it. Nobody can predict it because it cannot be predicted. That is what the Bible says. The Bible says it cannot be predicted. And so why do we do it? Why do we do it? Why do we do it? So I think that there is this spirit that exists within humanity, and it is this spirit of Armageddon, and it is something that we create, and it is entirely of our creation. I don't think it exists beyond this realm either. I think it just exists here, and we cross over into the other realm. It will. I just don't think it exists. So I've been to a couple of these, like I've been to prayer services, like charismatic prayer services and things like that, and Catholic, and I've been to Pentecostal churches and all kinds of things, and where people concentrate on this energy, and then when this energy exists, and it is because we give it power, and this energy exists. And so when I went to this, I went a couple times to a Catholic charismatic prayer service when I was, thank you, Cosmic, when I was, I am almost 60 years old. I'm old. I'm an old man. See, I'm bald and I'm gray. My skin is tight because I have these genes. Those are my genes. My dad looked young when he was 70 years old as well. But anyway, nevertheless, I went to these prayer meetings and things like that, and my sense is that this energy that about this energy of Armageddon is entirely generated by us. And I think that somebody in that room called that spirit in, and it just ripped around the room. And it was like a tendril of fire, and it was twisting and turning, and I could see it go from person to person to person. And when it struck me, it was a thrilling and exhilarating experience. And this spirit is thrilling and exhilarating. It's kind of like an amusement park ride. Now, if you are a person who doesn't get motion sickness, I get motion sickness, and so I get no thrill out of going to going on roller coasters or going on rides that spin you around like an egg beater, or that drop you down like you get free fall. And I did like 3.5 seconds of free fall, and what I ended up at the end of it was vomiting all over everything. And so I do not go on those rides because I get motion sickness really bad. And no, I'm not drunk, and I don't drink. Nevertheless, so you have this spirit of, it's like an amusement park ride, and people like to feel afraid. People like fear, and there's a thrilling aspect of fear, and so we generate this. We generate this fear, and I'm gonna get rid of this one here. All right. And anyway, and so we like it because it's entertaining, and so thoughts about thoughts about Armageddon, thoughts about this spirit of Armageddon, the spirit of the end of the world. It is really just pure entertainment. And so, like, in the Bible, I'm going to just do a little sachet into the polytheism that exists in the Old Testament. And so there is an evolution of God through time. In the Old Testament, and you can see this clearly if you've studied the Bible in a academic sort of way, they will show you that the Bible, the Old Testament, is full of polytheism. There's like multiple different gods. I think it's like there's Elohim, there's Yahweh, and then if you look at the in the book of Job, it has a pantheon of God. And one of the gods on that pantheon was Satan, and Satan was not the devil or the lord of hell in this book. The Satan was a trickster like God. Was a God he whispered in God's ear, and they did all these terrible things to Job. And so, they took away this and took away that and took away that. And then in the end, Job gets down and submits to God and please God, or you're my God, and so forth. And so what the trickster God is there to show us about the folly of humanity and these things. And so I really believe that the spirit that people look into when they are looking for end of the world is they're being influenced by this trickster God. And this trickster, the sole purpose is to trick you, because no one knows the hour nor the day when the universe will end, and only the source, the God that created the universe, knows. And granted, maybe we are a part of that if we go from our evolution of God on this earth between polytheism to monotheism to monism, or where there's a monad. And so, like, I think in the book of John, we look at, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And that is all about this oneness and this monadism. And so, all right, and then you can watch it some more on the replay, Jeff. And so you have that, and I think that's where we're heading in our evolution, is to abandoning this idea of the Trinity of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, because that's kind of like a hybrid. That's a hybrid concept of polytheism. So you have God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, and it's three gods in one, or three aspects of gods in one, in this triune spirit. Now mystics through time in Christian tradition have actually said that this Trinity does not exist. Now, if they were to talk about it really openly, they would get killed. A lot of times mystics in the church, they got killed. Or if they didn't get killed, they got shoved into monastic orders and into monasteries in order to hide them away from the general population. So when any mystic came out and talked about God consciousness, Christ consciousness, or anything like that, it was they were dead. And so that's the fate of people who tell the truth, that tell the truth about the nature of this universe. In the past, is they get silenced, or they get silenced permanently. So like Jesus was crucified, and Jesus told the truth about this world, and this was his fate. He was killed by the very people he came to deliver that news. And so, anyways, that is that. So, and then one of the other things I was thinking about in looking into this spirit of Armageddon, that it to me it kind of reminded me, like, it was the Planthar stones in Lord of the Rings, where there were these stones that existed, and then Sauron had one, Saruman had one, and then before the rise of Sauron, these stones were used by the great kingdoms of the elves, the great kingdom, in order that they can communicate with one another. But a lot of times I feel like people who are trying to make these predictions about these things, that they're looking into one of these stones, and they you think that you're seeing clearly, and you're seeing what is real, but you're not seeing what is real, because what's on the other side is this trickster like spirit, this spirit of that is tricky and is tricking you. And so that's why I myself do not even consider, like, I don't waste my time. I don't waste my time with these types of predictions anymore. I don't waste my time looking at the book of Revelations. I don't waste my time. And I see that as a complete waste of my time to concentrate on things that just don't matter. Now, that's just me. That's just my experience. And I have in the past wasted my time going to Apocalyptic, or to going to these prayer groups, and feeling this exhilarating experience. I went to a Pentecostal church once, like it was a Potter's house, and that was a very unique experience. And when people started speaking in tongues, what I saw was people's on their bodies there. I saw like these dragon-like heads, or these bird-like heads, and the yeah. Well, I doubt it. I doubt we're in any. We're the end times we're in, Jeff, is that we're in the process of changing from one age to another, one world to another, and so this world is going to be here and everything. But that's just my belief. And anyways, so it was these tongue, and as people were blah 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 blah, these tongues were snaking out, and these tongues, and they were these people, they accepted this, whether these are angelic beings or they were just demons. I just translated that they were a demonic forces that existed in these places, and so forth. That was just me. That was how I just got the hell out of that place. Yeah, that's we are going. Yes, that's true, Mr. Mahdi. And so, anyways, I think that's all I had. I wanted to talk. Probably the next time, I kind of want to talk about the hand of God, the endings of many things, including illusions. Time to pull back these curtains. The truth will always be revealed eventually. And yes, this channel is a Redhead. This channel is a variety show. So last night I painted this. This is something that I painted, Redhead, last night. The night before that, I painted this, and then I have guests on a couple times a week, or once a time, and we do some art and stuff like this. And this is my and right now I am doing on Sunday. I do this type of show only on Sunday. It's my after church chat, and I talk about stuff like that. And today I just wanted to talk about this sense of, because there's a lot of people that do look into this, into the spirit of Armageddon, and that's like, like end of the world things. And me, I'm I'm a Christian mystic who feels that it's a waste of time to look at that stuff because you really don't know. I live on a fault. I live on the Cascadia fault, and that thing could go off at any time and my world would end. And I know that the house that I'm in would be flattened most likely, and my chances of surviving a Cascadia the Cascadia earthquake, that's a 9.0 earthquake, is pretty slim, even though that epicenter might be like what, 400 miles away, 300 miles away. I think they think the epicenter is like up around Vancouver, or in Seattle or Vancouver or someplace like that. And anyways, or it's just all along this fault line, and so the Cascadia fault line, and that's where and you got the plate tectonics and things are the Cascadia. It's moving under like this, and it's kind of catching, and it moves and it moves and it's bunching up, and then boom, it'll have this big huge earthquake like there was in Japan. I think that was like 10, 15 years ago, when on the other side of that plate it burst, and so they had that disastrous earthquake. And so, and then there's also the other big thing is the Yosemite caldera volcano is about ready to go off too. They've been, they don't know when, but it's like the looking back into the record, they predict that it should come soon. They don't know when soon is. And so, yeah, I like, and so this is my colors. I like this fiery Hawaiian-like colors, and I love the ocean, and I live close to the ocean, but I can't afford to live on the ocean. Anyways, so that's kind of one of the things I was talking about, was that, endings come, but I was in Israel in 1995, and now we did not see Megiddo. We did see Masada. And Masada was one of those places on that litany of dates that I listed. Masada was one of those places that is when the world of Israel ended in like 88 AD is when 88, 89 is when Israel's world ended. So their end time happened already for that world, but then they've had a rebirth. They went into a new age. And so I have some pictures of, we didn't go to Bethlehem, and we didn't go to Megiddo because they didn't think it was safe. And so this is me on the streets of Tel Aviv in 1995. Mia, welcome. And this here is Jerusalem. Sorry about the glare. This is Jerusalem. I took these pictures myself. This here is a picture of a tomb. This is where the Protestants celebrate where the tomb of Christ is. There is other places. The Catholics have their own place. And so this is me coming out of the Protestant tomb of Christ. Let's see, if I turn this light off, I can cut some of the glare. And this is me right here. I'm walking right out of a tomb of Christ. And so that's that. The other place, now when I was in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, I had nothing but religious experiences in that place. And so I became a Catholic. After setting, actually it wasn't really Catholic. I was actually more drawn to that Eastern branch of Christianity. And because there's so much mystery in the old church. And so if you really want to like experience that mystery of the Christian experience, all those treaties are temporary. But so if you really want to experience that mystery of the exoteric Christ experience, I recommend. I'm a Christian mystic or Catholic. I'm actually I kind of reverted back, Maddie. I reverted back to the religion I was baptized in, which is Lutheran. That is one. It's a separate. It's Martin Luther, who in what 14 something, who we have the Reformation and we have the Protestant Reformation, and the Lutheran Church is one step away from the Catholic Church, and also the Anglican Church and Episcopalian churches are also. My name is Bill, and are just one degree of separation away from the Catholic Church. But the first split was the Orthodox Church, and yeah, it's because I need Sammer, I cut my own hair, and this is why my hair looks like this. If I went to a barber, I would have my hair cut way shorter, and then I might look a little bit younger. But I cut my own hair. Anyways, so the Orthodox Church, the Church of Byzantium, the church who had its head in Istanbul, is it's because why don't I turn back to Catholic? It's that because I caregive for my mother, and my mother is Lutheran, and I take my mother to her church. It is her choice, so that's why I do that. And so Orthodoxy, which is the first split of the church, it's the first split of the church since the 3rd century. And so there's a lot of mystery, and there's a lot of majestic. So if you want that spirit of that mystery of Christ, then I really recommend checking them out. And so a lot of Protestants, yeah, and so I chose Catholicism because of how abundant it is, because there's like, from where I'm living now, the nearest like Orthodox church is like 100 miles one way away, and it's like, I just ain't gonna be, I'm not driving 100 miles to go to church. And what is your question? Can you tell me what? And so anyways, I'm in the United States. I'm on the west coast of the United States, and I am kind of near where the epicenter of a Cascadia earthquake would be. And so if when the Cascadia fault goes off, I am probably within 100 to 200 miles away from where that earthquake would be the worst. And so, and since they say it's going to be like maybe a 9.9 on the Richter scale, this means that I'm in that fault zone. So I'm not so sure about that, Maddie. As I get older, I'm not so sure that the original Jesus was a Catholic. I think the original Jesus was an Essen, was part of a Jewish mystics, was a Jewish mystic, and that the first early church was more mystical, more like the Gnostics, but because there were so many different branches of Christianity, there was the one that brought us into the 3rd century, because it really kind of changed when it became the official religion of the Roman Empire. It changed to being a religion of power, because it wasn't Constantine, but his next emperor after that, who saw Christianity as a way to reunite the kingdom, to reunite the empire, and to bring unity to the empire. And that is what, you may not believe that, but that's kind of what happened, because all of our doctrines and everything about the church stem from, including the biblical canon. Now, it doesn't say that those books weren't written, but all of those. So this here, I believe, was the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and in Jerusalem. And this here is the Dome of the Rock. This is where there's a stone that's inside here where Muhammad is believed to have ascended into heaven, where Muhammad had believed to ascend. And this is also the site of where the Jewish temple was, that was destroyed. Now, and so here is a picture of that rock. This is the rock that inside the Dome of the Rock. And so this is a picture of that rock where the Prophet Muhammad is believed to have touched off and moved off into the sky. And so this here is the outer temple wall of that temple that survives. Now, what does that mean? And so we move on. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to go to Masada. I'm going to go forward to Masada, and I have those pictures here as well. These pictures are from 1995, a long time ago. And we spent 3 days in the Sinai Desert, and this was our accommodations in January of 1995. We stayed in tents. At night, in the daytime, it went up to like 80 degrees, and by the night time, it was down to like 30 degrees. And this is me on the Sea of Galilee when I was 26 years of age. And that's that. No, I was born, Mahdi. I was born in a Christian culture, and that's where I'm at. So I think that we are the religions that we were born into. And so this is me on Mount Moses, and what I'm saying by that is that whatever culture we're born into is generally what our religion is. What I'm saying is that all religions, that there is no right religion. That's what I'm trying to say. And there's no wrong religions. And so I'm not saying that there's no right and there's no wrong. And so there's only really beyond it all is that our religion is the purpose of our religion is to unite us to the source. It's to unite us with God. And your path unites you to God. Now, you may not like this, but this is what mystics through time have said. And the saints have said this. The point of your religion is to give you that oneness and to unite with God. And so it really doesn't matter what your religion is. So if it's Islam, if it's Christianity, if it's paganism, if it is Hinduism, if it's Buddhism, or if it's even atheism, because atheism, there is a moral and ethical path to God in atheism. But see, with atheism, it is one where if you have a moral path of being a moral and ethical person as an atheist, you're not thinking about the past. You're not thinking about whether or not you were reincarnated or anything like that, because it doesn't matter. And whether you're going to heaven or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is life right here and right now. And this is the only time that matters. Monism or Mormonism, monism, and I think with that belief is that God is a monad, is a one, and it's all about oneness. And so probably this is where, as a Christian, that I deviate into heresy, is that I see it as a monad, that all is God, that God is all is God and God is all. All is God and God is all. Anyways, I'm not trying to argue. I'm just kind of telling you what my experience is. And I may not be right. I may be completely wrong. I may be damned to hell for all eternity. So be it. So be it. But this is where God has led me to this date. And so what my thought is it being a universalist, being seen that all faith paths lead to the same place, and there is no right and there is no wrong. And so that's why in a different world order they would kill me for that, because that is a truth that organized religion does not like. Organized religion does not like to know, because these organized religions are all about power and preserving power. And anything that disrupts that power is a heresy. It is a wrong thinking. It's the wrong way of thinking. But, so like, for instance, if you want to think about what is the, how to love, and Jesus talks about how to love, and that how to love is you love by serving, your neighbor. You love God by loving your neighbor. You love God by loving the stranger. You love God by taking care of those who cannot take care of themselves. That's how you love God. So anyways, that is right from the Bible. That is biblical. That's what it says in the Gospels. That's what it says in the Gospels on how to love God. You love God by serving others and by welcoming the stranger, by not putting walls up. You don't put walls up. No walls of division here. You don't divide yourself. You don't separate yourself amongst different bodies and different pieces, because at the end, we're all one. Now, I'm not a Muslim. I am, this is just me. So anyways, I'm just going to get on to near here in the Dead Sea region is where the Nagahame library was found. So where we have the Gospel of Thomas and all the books of the Bible that the church sought to destroy were hidden in these caves up here. And so we're talking about Christian truths, and in Christian truths, there were other books of the Bible, and the Gospel of Thomas may have been one of a very early book written. And this is me again when I was a young boy. I was just a boy, and I actually, these ideas that I have, I actually all came out of my journey to Israel. And so that place where this is the cave where the Nag Hammadi scrolls were found in this cave right over here. So the Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel of Mary, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, the Gospel of Peter, and all of that, all those books, and including like a bunch of Old Testament books were found in there. No one comes to the Father except from them, yes. The experience of Jesus is to be our experience too. And now I come into Masada. This is Masada. And Masada was the last outpost when Rome came. When Rome in like 88, I think it was, in 88, Rome, they had their last stand. The last stand between Israel and Rome happened at this place. And at this place, this was a fortress that was built on top of a hill, on a hill that was 300 feet below sea level. So the bottom of the Dead Sea region is 2,000 feet below sea level, and Masada sits at 700, which is 300 feet below sea level. And so these people had like 2 or 3 years worth of food and water on hand. And the Romans, they built a ramp. They built a ramp, and this is a picture of the ramp. They built a ramp out of sticks and stones and everything. And they built this stuff up, and it took them like 2 years, and they built it up, and then when they got within reach where they could could climb up, as Roman soldiers could climb up, there was a mass suicide that happened, and there was just very few survivors. And the only reason we know about the last battle of Masada is because there was just like a handful of survivors from it. And that's what we know. And so that was So in my opinion, when I look at the book of Revelations, I see that it's all about that time then and there. However, as I read off in that litany of dates, there are hundreds of dates that people have predicted when this world ended, and the people are still predicting it. And every time they set a date on the end of the world, they are wrong, because only the Father, only God knows when the end of the world will come. The angels in the heaven and the Son of Man, humanity does not know. They do not know because that knowledge has been hidden from them. And everyone, And so, yes. And so I think that I have this book. I may actually have a picture of Megiddo in this book. And so, yes, I'm going to take a look in here, see if I do. I did remember touching I went to Jericho. I proposed to somebody. On the Sea of Galilee. I should have looked at this. Anyways, that's my after church chat for today. I think next week I'm going to talk about the hand of God, and I did a video about this, the hand of God, and did a video and about who I think the hand of God is. But I want to talk a little bit more about that next Sunday on my after church chat. It's probably be more about monism and what that is. I don't know yet. I will find out. So if you like this, like and sub, you probably didn't like it. And this is for my after church chat on the 999 show. My next program will be Tuesday, and we're going to be doing coloring the tarot. And okay. Anyways, that's all I got for you. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and there's a lively conversation in the chat I see. Yeah. Well, anyways, that's what I got. And so thank you everyone for being here. I will be back on Tuesday with, I believe Essence of the Moon, and we will be doing coloring the World card, and then Friday there'll be someone else, and we'll be doing the Four of Swords, and then as usual I will be doing more of these. I'll be doing more of these, and this is I did the night before last, and this one, wait, not that one, and this is the one I did last night, the church chat choir. So this was last night's. And so Jeff, do you know what this is? Class? Everyone? Anyone? Class? Oh, anyways, that is what I got for you. Thank you very much. I hope that that was all understandable. It's Batman. You got it. It's Batman. It is 2 full cups and 3 empty cups. It's a pessimist. It's the cup. It's pessimism. That's what it's all about. The cups are almost all full, and 3 were kicked over. So it's not half full, half empty. It's this is pessimism. It's all about pessimism. This one here, the spirit of pessimism. All right. This was fun. And I wasn't here to convince anybody of anything, just to explain the truth as I see it, to the truth as I experienced it. Most of this comes from visions I had, like when I was baptized at 9, confirmed as a Lutheran, and then experiences I had when I was a teenager, experiences I had when I was firefighting up on the mountaintop experiences, and in Israel, which was the biggie, and then afterwards when I had an out-of-body experience during the Eucharistic prayers, and then also going to all kinds of church services and stuff through time. And alrighty, I will be back next week. We're gonna and watch that Hand of God. That Hand of God that I did 2 years ago. It was like the third or the fourth episode on this channel. The third or the fourth, and so thank you, Maddie. And granted, I do this type of show only once a week, and everything else I'm doing is art. And I'm also and whatnot. Anyways, I will be back next Sunday at 12:21 thereabouts to begin my after church chat. But that's for this talkie thing, and then I'll have some guests on this week and so forth. You know what? It's really hard to shave. I'm sorry, I didn't get everything. I really tried to get that off my face. And as you get older, Mr. Luke, as you get older, it's harder and harder and harder to take the facial hair off your face. And if you ever wondered why do old men have beards, and this is why old men have beards, is because it's so hard to get that crap off your face. Yeah, this is why. Anyways, that's why. Why old men wear beards. And I'm a pretty frugal guy with my money, and I don't get the cartridge razors. I get the straight razor, and it goes in a handle, because the handle cost me $15, and the razors cost me like $20 for $5, and those blades are hard. It's kind of a hygiene thing. It's kind of hard to get that stuff. And also, I cut my own hair. This is why my hair looks like this, because I cut my own hair, because I'm a cheap guy, huh? Really frugal. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say another word until Tuesday. I don't know what time it was, that show. I have to look at my schedule. Tuesday. Yeah. All right. You braid your nose hair and put a bell in it. Yeah. Don't have. Okay. All right. Good night. Good afternoon. I'm going to go out and do some chores. I have 3 or 4 days left of sunshine, and I got to prune my trees. I'm going to prune my trees, and I'm going to see you all later. And thank you very much for being here today. And I'll be back next Sunday with some more church chat. Yeah, you read that, and probably I might actually in this I might actually go through and look at some of those church mystery. I have a whole book on the writings of Catholic Church mystics through time. I might actually go do some readings from the Church Fathers before the Catholic Church was established, like the Manichaeans and so forth. Talk a little bit about that stuff. Anyways, we'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.